Hello there and welcome to another exciting edition of Sister on, of course, your favorite station, 97.3 City FM, and of course, City TV. It's your world. We are live around the world thanks to citynewsroom.com and of course our City Newsroom app. Plus, we are also live on DSTV channel 363, GoTV channel 182. My name is Jessica and tonight, coronavirus has left me alone in the studio. No audience, no sisters, but some way, somehow, we shall still engage in our very exciting conversations. And so, here's what. If you have questions you would like answered on this episode of the show, you can actually still send a WhatsApp message to 054-998-6996. You can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com or like our Facebook page. Search for Sister Live on Facebook. Like our page, send us a DM, and we'll be more than happy to address your issue. And if we don't read or attend to your issue today, you are guaranteed to hear it perhaps on the next episode. Now, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, I'll tell you exactly how Sister is going to roll out today. Welcome to the show once again, and stay tuned. And you're definitely welcome back to Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. So, as I told you, because of the coronavirus pandemic, I am alone in the studio today. And this has never happened in the history of the show. But of course, we need to observe the whole social distancing protocols. And it's important that we also keep everybody safe by doing so. And so today, the ladies will join me on the show, definitely. But they're going to join in, of course, thanks to technology, remotely. And so, we still have our favorite ladies on the show tonight. Let's welcome Rosina, Olivia, and Tina. Ladies, how you doing today? This is not even funny. This is not even funny. I mean, you're over there, I'm over here, but some way, somehow, we're going to let the conversation happen.
We miss you.
I miss you more.
Yeah, you look very lonely.
I am lonely, but it's all good, I'm not even complaining. This is necessary, you see, because we love each other and we need to make sure that all of us survive this very, serious time. So let me talk to you individually. Rosina, what's going on? How has the whole COVID-19 pandemic worked on your family and relationship in general? I mean, how's that going for you? You're also on lockdown, are you?
Oh, it's been crazy. I'm working away from home. I'm working from home. So I still have to be on my laptop, the whole time. And I actually thought it would be easier, but it's actually more challenging working from home. And I can't remember the last time I had my husband at home 24/7. Even I am not at home 24/7. So it's pretty crazy. And the 2Ds are... Right, so 2Ds are giving us a run for our money. But it's
Lord.
All good. It's all good. It's been an exciting experience. But like you said, it's a necessary evil. And it only makes us pay more importance. Give more importance to some of the little things that we take for granted.
True.
Seeing people, hugging people, being able to shake people, interacting freely with people. These are things that we take for granted. So it just makes you, now you know what you wouldn't know what you have till you lose it. So now that you don't have those things anymore, you kind of feel like, oh my God, I wish I could have that. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
What about you, Olivia? How are things going for you?
Things are quite interesting. Like Rosina said, working from home, taking care of the family, the kids, hubby, and also missing out on the little things that we always take for granted. Just going out and seeing somebody, looking in their eyes, hugging them, smiling at them or smiling with them. and just, just living as usual. And that's been taken away from you because you have to stay safe. It's no longer a safe world out there. You have to constantly, be washing your hands, making sure that everything is okay. And especially for young children who seem to hear what's going on, I think this is also a great opportunity to sort of, as parents, let them know that everything is going to be calm, everything is going to be okay. Just calm them down, because they might be dealing with it in ways that we don't even know. So as parents, we just need to stay calm, just advise our kids to do the right thing, just wash their hands and explain to them why they're home.
Right.
Because I was speaking to a friend the other day, and she said to me her infant didn't understand why she had to be home. But, once we explain things to them, they'll understand it's just for a phase. Hopefully, all this too shall pass.
Right. All right. What's happening in Camp Opare, Safuro, this evening?
It's been normal for us, quote and unquote, because I've been at home for 2 months now, over 2 months. And I haven't really interacted with too many people. So this is just a continuation for me. But the difficult part was when I had to practice social distancing with the husband. And he had to be on quarantine for what? 2 weeks. He finished yesterday officially.
Yay.
And it's for the first time, we had physical contact, and he had physical contact with his baby, and it was really, really nice. So it's been refreshing for us for the last 24 hours.
That's
but
great.
Everything here is fine.
No,
I just miss work. I miss the whole, going back, having this whole adrenaline and everything. I miss that.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the world.
Yeah. Work misses you, that's for sure. But it's good to know that you ladies are fine. And I think it's really important that we sort of put things in perspective for our viewers, so they also know that our sisters are humans with, families to take care of, and are also dealing with the same situation that we all are dealing with at the moment, that the world is dealing with. But whether there's COVID-19 or not, there are relationships that are happening or not happening, and people still want their questions answered. It's like nobody has even heard that there's a pandemic. They want their relationship questions answered immediately. And so this show has to continue some way, somehow. So thank you so much for making time, ladies. And let's go right into action, shall we? First story coming in, or first email received, says, sisters, I've been dating this guy for 5 years. I'm in love with him and never loved anyone like this before. I do everything humanely possible to make sure that I am the best girlfriend ever. Sisters, can you imagine I take care of this guy like my own son? I buy him clothes, I pay for his rent, I feed him. But the problem is, I feel this guy doesn't respect me enough. He talks to me anyhow, treats me anyhow, comes back to say sorry because he knows that I'll forgive him. Now, recently, he did something that makes me feel really bad. He bought a bag for me and later told me that his younger brother said he wanted it. He asked that I give it back. Although I disagreed, he still went ahead and took it anyway. He came back to apologize and promised to get me another one. 1 week later, he asked me to lend him 100 Ghana cedis, which I did. The next day, he didn't pay back the money. And since I didn't have any money, I pleaded with him to give me just 5 cedis to buy some food. Now, this guy gave me 20 cedis in the evening, and when I asked for the balance, he told me I should take note that the 5 cedis he gave me earlier was part of the money. Now, sisters, will someone who claims they love and respect you treat you in such a manner? Anytime I complain to his mother, she tells me to stay with her son because the next person I date may be worse off. Who does this to their girlfriend? I can't complain to his father because he is worse, and his mother is always complaining about how badly he treats her. Sisters, do you think I should leave this guy? Am I wasting my time with him? I think they're taking advantage of me because my parents are rich. Please advise. Now, I will cut straight to you, Olivia, for you to probably weigh in first on this relationship question.
Okay, my take is, I mean, you kind of know the answer. You're doubting yourself, and I don't want you to doubt yourself. Clearly, the signs are out there. You can tell that he's taking advantage of you because you're coming from a well-to-do family. So he's not treating you with the respect that you need, the respect that you require. And for me, sometimes love can be overrated. I say this time and time again. And I know it's hard, and I know that it's easier said than done. But love doesn't have to be like that. Love isn't like that. When somebody loves you, they're very empathetic of you, and they treat you the same way they expect to be treated. So here's a situation whereby you're paying for everything for this guy. He doesn't appreciate it. He's gone through the trouble. He's bought you something, and he's come back to you and told you that his brother wants it. So then again, he hasn't sat back to even reflect and look at the fact that all this while, you are the one who's been sacrificing for him. You've been paying his fees. You've been doing this. And this one time that he bought you one bag, his relative wants it, and he didn't even stop. He's like, immediately, you don't matter. You have money. So whatever it is, he doesn't care. So yeah, he's going to give it to his brother. For me, I don't think that's good. Relationships are hand go, hand come. It's supposed to be reciprocal, and he's not reciprocating your love. So if you ask me, I don't think it's a relationship that you should be in. Yes, there's the fear of the unknown. You don't know what your next relationship is going to be like. But my dear, if you don't leave this one that's clearly not heading anywhere, how do you know what your chances are in the next relationship? Trust me, you just started off as boyfriend, girlfriend, and he's not even manning up. At this point, he should be wanting so much to prove a point to you that he really loves and appreciates you and gives you a bit of his love. But here's a case whereby 20 CDs is even an issue. Now it's money issues when he is giving out. So in a nutshell, I'm just going to cut to the chase. In a nutshell, I honestly don't think that's a relationship you should be in. Because how many years down the line, what's going to happen? Are you going to pay for your own wedding? Are you going to pay for your own, when you guys have a baby, are you going to pay for your own naming ceremony? Like, it trickles down. So I really don't think that's a relationship you should be in. But once you leave this relationship, give yourself time to heal, reflect, and then decide what you want in your next relationship. Have standards and stand by them, and you'll be fine.
All right. So Olivia thinks that, basically this is not a relationship for you to be in. What about you, Tina? What's on your mind? What do you think?
Well, it sounds to me like a one-sided relationship, and the guy definitely is somebody who is stingy, and he also keeps record of things or monies that people owe him, yet he doesn't give out or dish out to others. Now, for me, what I would say is that you only weigh the situation and you say you don't know who else is out there who will treat you better. If the thing is not weighty, if it's just a flimsy excuse or it's something that can be dealt with, then fine, deal with it and don't say that, okay, the people out there may not be any better. But this one, clearly is a red flag, okay? You have money, you are coming from a place where you are wealthy, and this guy is not. And he's not even sharing in the little that he has. There's a saying that so if in the little that he has, he can't even share with you, and he's keeping records of 5 CD, 10 CD, 20 CD. I mean, I don't think it's a healthy relationship. He's got the fundamentals wrong. And if he can't do this fundamental thing, it's a reflection of the big things which are yet to come.
Right.
So it's either you have a conversation with him and you say that, listen, I don't understand why ABCD. Give him maybe some weeks or months, just observe him and see how things go. If they repeat themselves, if it repeats itself, then you can just take yourself out of the equation. Or you can say that, listen, I'm not even going to waste time because this has happened since the inception of the relationship and I can't deal with it anymore. So please don't fool yourself. Anything that is happening now would escalate later in the relationship, especially during marriage. You are not married now. Don't waste time.
Alrighty. When the fundamentals are weak, the relationship will expose you. All right. So, Rosina, let's hear what you think on this particular subject.
I don't think there's a relationship. I mean, or even if there's a relationship, it's a mother-son relationship that's going on, not a boy-girlfriend relationship. Sometimes we are different people with different temperaments. So there are certain people who just love to give care, to show care, not just to their boyfriends, but even to their friends. Like, they're quick to be the one to provide solutions, to dote out money, to pay the bill, to buy something, to sort something out, to sort something out for somebody. That's just them. That's just how they are. There are people like that. But you see, when it comes to a relationship, it's important that you stay the woman in a relationship. I don't know that you understand. It's important that you stay the woman in the relationship. And it's important that you don't just give things off anyhow in the relationship just because you want to keep. Because, for instance, in her opening statement, she made a statement like, oh, you've done so many things for him, but men, men love women because they love them. It has nothing to do with what you are doing or what you are not doing. That's why you can have a woman cook, clean, do everything for a man. When he's ready to get married and you're not it, you are not it. Simple. He can get married to somebody who cannot cook and he likes it. So I'm just saying that, look, if a man wants you, he wants you, and you can see it. It's clearly written on the wall. But this is the case. You seem to be putting in a lot of effort and he just keeps going into a bottomless pit. So you buy him things, he doesn't appreciate it. He's always taking you for granted. Look, that bag, let me ask you, how did his brother even know that he had bought you a bag? He didn't say he wanted it. Do you understand? So I'm saying that, look, is it that he has to, even for things that he even wants to do for you, he probably needs to run it by his parents. And you know what? I'm so disappointed in his mother. Which mother would want for his son a woman who takes care of him? Now, if such a woman happens to be his mother, then my question is that taking this relationship further is only going to get deeper and deeper in what's happening. It's just going to get worse. It means that, like Tina said, you're going to, or Olivia, I don't know whether it's Olivia or Tina, you're going to pay for the wedding, you're going to pay for your own outdooring, you're going to pay for your kids' fees, you're going to pay for your rent. If you have to buy a house, you are going to buy it. You probably finance him, and even finance him and the actual woman he probably really truly cares for. So for me, thinking that there's no better person out there is so not because this is just not it.
Right.
I'm sure there are thousands of people better than this one. This is not a relationship you should waste your time, your energy, your breath, your money on. Just walk out. This man doesn't love you. This man doesn't appreciate you. This man certainly doesn't want you. He's made no effort whatsoever to make you feel good. If you've given him 100 cedis, pay back the 100 cedis. 100 cedis isn't that much money. This is an opportunity for him to prove that, well, it's just because I don't have the money. But if I had it, I'll give you everything and give you back that 100. Right. And even that 20 that he gave you, that would be an extra bonus for you to feel like, okay, when he does make it, or when he does have money, he's going to spend on you. But the way he's going, even declaring 5 cedis, it means that there is no way he's going to want to spend anything on you. So, my dear, this is not a relationship.
Alrighty.
You haven't given birth yet. So stop looking after a grown baby. I beg you. I would opt out. I would even think twice.
Right. And it sounds very obvious. So all the sisters are singing the same song, and I need to add my voice. I mean, I even doubt that, in fact, he took the bag for his sister, his brother. I'm really not sure. But, certainly a man who can't seem to up his game may not necessarily be the man for you, because you obviously seem to have things going. I mean, even if it's not that much, you seem to be in a better position. And I feel like at the end of the day, the man's ego just may ruin the little relationship that you guys have going, because if you're constantly being the one taking care of him, at some point, you know, things are going to sort of dovetail, you know, when his ego kicks in or can't stand how things are panning out. So this relationship, we're not so sure. Think about it again, my dear sister. And thank you for messaging the show. So we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll be sharing a lot more of your messages. Remember, our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. You can also send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. We'll be right back.
Let's take you on a journey of discovery, the incredible sights, artifacts, music, and adventure. It is what makes life worth living. Our history, the arts, and soul. Art and Soul with Melissa Awad. Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. Only on City TV.
Art and soul, art, soul, art and soul, art, yeah, soul, art and soul. Art, soul, art and soul.
And you're welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. Of course, today, and of course, due to the coronavirus pandemic, I am in the studio alone, but of course my ladies are joining me thanks to technology. So we'll just continue from where we left off, but remember, your comments are welcome on 054-998-6996. Send an email as well to jessica@cityfmonline.com, or search for Sister Sister Live on Facebook, and you know, we can essentially like the page, send us a DM, and we'll be more than happy to, you know, read from you. So let's go into our next message. Now it says, I'm a 33-year-old guy dating a 26-year-old girl. We dated for 9 months before I proposed to her, but there's one thing that makes me contemplate marrying her. She loves sex to the extent that she almost cheated on me when I traveled for just 8 days. She gets turned on through self-stimulation and so much more. At first, I enjoyed it because I was happy to find a woman who equally enjoys sex. But now it's getting too much. If I marry her and I travel for 2 weeks, won't she cheat on me? It's not my habit to complain. After all, I'm the one that first requested for it. I thought men are the ones who are supposed to love sex this much. Is it good for a woman to enjoy sex much more than her partner? Can this have an effect on our marriage in the future? This is about marriage and not courtship. Sisters, I need your advice. And that's from Nana Kweku Danny in Kaswa. All right, let's come straight to you, Rosina. I'd like you to address this one first. Yeah, go for it.
I couldn't help but laugh there. Well, it's a myth that men like sex more than women, actually. I think. Anyway, but on a serious note, it's quite sad that it's okay if both of you decide to get sexual and both of you on the same wavelength. That's okay. But for you to be away for 8 days and she couldn't keep herself and she had to almost cheat on you in that 8 days, that is something to worry about, really. And what it means is that even when you get married, every time you are out of the house, anytime you are out traveling, it means that you are thinking what's happening behind you, what's she up to, who is she talking to, who is she talking with. If she can get hooked up in 8 days, then it means that most likely there are people in her circles that she could conveniently participate in a sexual activity with. And that becomes very worrying for you as a man. And I'm thinking that as a man, the last thing you want to be grappling with is to be thinking constantly where your woman is or where your wife is. I don't think it's good enough. If you were my brother, I wouldn't encourage that kind of a marriage. Because some of these things, they are habits that have been built over a period. It's different if she likes having sex with you, and then when you're not around, she's able to stay put till you come over, and then the attraction continues. But whether it is you or not, her body needs to get satisfied. It means that she's very selfish with her body. So I don't think that if you're my brother, I wouldn't advise you to take it any further.
One question he did ask was if it's good for a woman to love sex much more than her partner. I'm curious to know what you think about that, Rosina.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that it's a myth. It's actually pretty normal for a woman to love sex more than a man. There are so many women who love sex more than their men. The only thing is that we don't go talking about it, because when you talk about it, then you look bad. And some men don't like sex, but they need to do the whole, oh yeah, I am so good, I am so this, because for them, if they don't do that kind of talk, then it means that they are not macho. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of women who actually love sex more than men. I'm no exception. So, I mean, hey, it's not strange. It's not strange. It's not strange at all. So
all right.
It's okay.
It is what it is. Okay, so Olivia, what are your thoughts on this one?
I just love this one. By the way, I'm a woman and I love sex. I will not hide this any day, anytime. Just like I eat food and drink water, so is sex part of my life, and I embrace it. And I'm always the one worrying my husband. So just so you know, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. Once he likes sex, he likes it. As long as you're doing it within the confines of, like for me, for instance, I do it within the confines of my marriage. So I try as much as possible to enjoy my husband 24/7, any day, any time. But it makes me wonder, what within the 8 days that you left, what exactly was her response when you spoke to her and she said she almost cheated? You see what I mean? Like, what did she give you a reason why she almost cheated? Because then that will be able to, like, that answer would enable you decide exactly what to do. Because if she's actually justifying the fact that, well, you were not there for 8 days, so what should she do? And she really wanted to have sex, then Charlie, as a guy, you need to look at her differently. For me, I would go into a conversation with her and then I'd ask her, so assuming I had to go for a year, maybe work took me somewhere, will this relationship work for you? Then at least you know. But like Rosie said, if you were my brother, I would not encourage you to stay in that relationship, because the fundamentals of every relationship is trust. It's trust. And for whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, for me, if you're in a relationship that you constantly feel you're not obliged to be faithful, then I feel for me it's a big red flag. This girl can't wait. In years to come, when you get married, you guys will have issues. And she's coming from a position whereby she's justifying it. I mean, she loves sex, so she expects you to understand that she loves sex. And so if you can't deal with it, then like the French would say, tant pis. But then again, look at yourself and ask yourself what you want. Is your relationship overrated? What exactly do you want in your woman? What exactly do you want your wife to be? What are you looking for in a relationship? There are some people who, I mean, they really don't care. They're in a relationship, but it's not really defined. So this person does this person does that, which me personally, I would not condone to. But there's some people who do that. So if that's your cup of tea, then yeah. But if that's definitely not your cup of tea, then trust me, by all means, I don't think that should be a relationship you should be in. Have a conversation with her, decide, and just move on, because you want peace of mind to be able to enjoy your relationship and your coming marriage, as in if you're looking to ever get married.
Alrighty. Tina, let's hear you as well. Do you share the same opinion as our sisters?
Okay, so I share the same opinion, but I would say that if she's able to almost cheat on you within these 8 days, then it means that it wasn't during the 8 days. It's something ongoing. I mean, even when you are there, she's actively involved with some other person. Because how do you trust that the way she loves sex, you are able to satisfy her anyway? How do you even measure that? You haven't seen something like that before. You haven't experienced that. Hey, even your question makes you wonder, hey, do women actually love sex? Yes. Rise up and smell the coffee. Yes, women love sex. And sorry, we are not braggers, or we are not too much of braggers like you guys are. But you know that as women are growing, their libido heightens. And as men are growing, it comes down. So please, don't kid yourself. Kid yourself not. Women love sex. And you may not know whether you are satisfying her fully or not. So for her to actually almost cheat on you in 8 days means that you have side by side, like, I mean, ojikakra or no ojikakra baby, small, to support her libido. So please, this is not something you can stand. I don't think you can stand it, because every time you will think whether you're adequate or not. Every time you bring yourself into question. And as you grow older, when you get into the marriage, as you grow older, her sex drive is only going to increase and yours is going to drop. So imagine that you can't handle it now. Do you think you can handle it in the next 10 years? So please, if it's something that you are not comfortable with, and I'll join the chorus of the sisters and say that, listen, advise yourself. If you are not able to meet her boots for boots, go and look for your size.
Alrighty, go and look for your size. Some people say monkeys play by sizes, and I'll read a couple of your comments. But it's a very interesting thing when men presume that women do not enjoy. I mean, yes, of course, there's always an exception to the rule. There are women who don't enjoy it for different reasons. But then also you find a lot of women who enjoy it. They usually aren't as expressive as men, as my sisters have already said. But yeah, it's very regular, very normal for a woman to have a high libido as well. There are women like that out there, and so that should not be the matter. The truth of the matter, or for me, the most important thing that you should consider is whether she'll be able to stay faithful to you when you're not around. You see, and obviously you are doubting that yourself. Reason why you sent that message to us. But Bernice says she has to control herself, because I believe everybody likes sex, but self-control is key. And it says, Chale, your own good though. We have to beg before we get. But as for you, anytime you want is ready at your disposal. Bro, be thankful and don't complain. Mustafa says, remember, age and maturity is at play here. She's young and her libido is all over the place. And by the time she gets older, she'll realize there is more to a relationship than sex. Also, it's wrong for you to assume that only men love sex. I guess she has taught you a lesson. Hassan says she liking sex is not the problem, but if it means she cannot restrain herself whenever you travel, that is the real problem. When you say she nearly cheated, what did you mean? That's the only way we can know the extent of the problem, as Olivia asked us earlier. Gail says some people have high libidos and some have low libidos. It's not necessarily a gender thing, but an individual thing. So it's up to you to tell her your fears and for her to reassure you by her actions. Relationships are always built on trust, and it goes both ways. So as you're worried about whether you can trust her, worry if she can trust you as well. Gail, thank you for your message. Elam says she's young. Once she's married with responsibilities, she may even be the one complaining. It's not easy combining sex with responsibilities. And finally, Nana Kofi says, boss, let's swap la. My problem is the opposite of yours. I really do love it, and she's always resisting. She can stay for months without sex, and besides, I'm even tired of begging. So it's a clear case of once no gets no once. Let's move on, ladies, to our next message. And remember, our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. You can also send an email to Jessica at cityfmonline.com. So Miriam sends a message. She says, I met this guy on campus. We exchanged contacts. He later called me and wanted us to meet a day before Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet. I've been busy since January because I'm unemployed and seriously searching for a job. Since we couldn't meet, he proposed a relationship over the phone. He said he wanted to settle down with me if everything unfolded according to plan. Finally, we officially went on a date where he proposed. I told him to give me some time to think about it, and he agreed. After this, he piled lots of pressure on me to accept his proposal. I told him I've been in 2 relationships which didn't work out, but I didn't go into details. I also told him I'm an independent person who is jobless and can't be in a relationship because I don't want to be a burden on him. I asked for some time to make a decision, but he didn't get it. Last Sunday in the evening, I sent him a WhatsApp message and I realized he was acting cold towards me. Later, he told me he met this lady on his way home after work and he helped her fix her car. In his words, they clicked and they're both interested in each other, so he's moved on since I'm being so difficult. I told him to give me till the end of the month to get back to him. He just said I should go and find a man from the numerous men out there since I thought he was fake. My questions are, is it wrong to seek God's face before entering into a relationship? And how long does it take to accept someone's proposal? Could the reason be the fact that I ruled out sex before marriage? Please advise. Now, who would like to go first for this one? Let me choose Tina. Back to you.
Okay, Jess. Can you repeat your last 2 questions for me?
Yes. So the questions are, he says, is it wrong to seek God's face before entering into a relationship? And how long does it take to accept someone's proposal? And also, could the reason be the fact that she ruled out sex before marriage?
Okay, so clearly this person is a religious person. And listen, there's nothing wrong in seeking God's faith to make your decision, and it's always good as a religious person to do what your belief tells you to do. So yes, it's okay. How long does it take to give an answer to a proposal? There's no hard and fast rule about it. Okay, it's how you feel, and it's the circumstances at play. So you've been seeing him for what, 9 months, or you guys have been talking for 9 months?
For about a while.
Yes. And okay, so but you guys haven't interacted. You've been on just one date. This guy probably, in my view, I think he's accomplished. You know, a lot of men would work, go to school, work, do everything, and then they just want to get married. Okay, they've reached the point where, okay, now I'm at this stage, I want to add a woman to me. So when he comes and he talks to you, he proposes to you, and he's just waiting for you to say yes. You are an addition to him. It's not like you guys are having a serious relationship together, like he loves you. But he's just reached the stage where he feels like he should add a woman to him so that he's complete and he's seen in society as complete. So for me, don't feel burdened, don't feel worried that he moved on. He's looking for somebody, not necessarily somebody he loves, but he's looking for an ideal woman in his eyes to make sure that he has that kind of companionship. And he moves on. So if you were taking your time, don't feel so pressured. Okay, don't feel like you wasted time and so the opportunity has passed you by. Not at all. Sometimes it is the way. Sometimes some women can be all over the place and stretch the man, and today this, today that. After 2 years, still they are seeking God's face. This is not the type in this scenario. This is the type where the woman actually assessed herself, knowing that she doesn't have much. She didn't want to be too dependent on the man. She's been independent for so long, so she wanted to get something. She doesn't want to enter the relationship feeling like she's a bedding, etc., etc. So if they were continuing the conversation and it wasn't like the woman had gone into isolation, I'm seeking God's face, I'm doing this. When I'm done, I will come to you so that I'll give you an answer. If that is what happened, then it's wrong. If you continue talking to the person, you have a communication, you have a relationship going on, but meanwhile, you are considering that, okay, at this time, I'll give you an answer. That's fine. Please don't feel pressured. I hope I'm making sense in this light that, yes, you can seek God's face. Yes, you can take your time and feel comfortable in yourself before you actually accept a proposal. Just don't drag and waste the person's time. The guy actually wanted something fast. It wasn't like he loved you for you. He's just ready to have a wife. And so anybody that's ready, oh yeah, let's go, in my view.
All righty. Olivia, what are your thoughts?
I agree with what Tina is saying. With your situation, a lot of things were happening at the same time. You were in a particular space. You were not ready for a relationship, and it's okay to not be ready for a relationship. So, I mean, like Tina is saying, don't blame yourself. I mean, it's his loss. If you ask me, a man who really knows what he wants, right? Who really has decided that this is the woman I really want to be with, will wait for the longest time. So don't count it as your loss. It just wasn't meant to be. And I don't want you to feel sad. Yes, you will feel sad. Yes, you will feel, you'll feel like you lost something. But please, my dear, I don't think it was meant to be. And if he really, really was into you, he would have, I think that he would have pursued you a bit more. But also looking at the other side, sometimes your situation is a bit different, but I also want to flip the coin. Whereas there's some women who genuinely, who would usually just enjoy stretching men when they ask them out. Like I always say, my policy is, if somebody asks you out, right? If somebody is asking you out and you look at him, you're able to have a good dialogue. You're able to communicate. He's cool, good looking. He doesn't smell. He doesn't, he's ticked a few basic boxes, in terms of, what he looks like. Is his face nice to look at least? Can you imagine, like, when you wake up in the morning, at least you can look at his face? Does his face look like that? Can you talk to him? Is it somebody who is lively? Does he tick your personal box as a person? Just like immediately you see the person, right? And while you interact with them, okay, he's not too bad. He's asked you out. My thing, this is my personal opinion, it might not necessarily work for you, but I'm just throwing it out there. If you think he sort of ticks some of your personal boxes and you think, okay, why not? I would say yes if he had asked me out, but not necessarily slept with him. The reason why I'm saying that is because within the time that I say yes, it will give me many opportunities to get to know exactly who he is so that I can actually make an informed decision about him. So if I say yes to him, we're going out, we're talking more, I'm trying to find out, okay, who is he? He's also learning a bit more about me. After 2-3 weeks, I think that, maybe my values are different from him. I'm the church-going type. I'm this kind of person. Maybe he's not, he doesn't... Me and him, we don't click like that. Immediately, I tell him that matter. You see, I mean, you asked me out, no long things. I thought you were cool, but in terms of long term, I really don't think this is going to work. And in that instant, you wouldn't have given a lot away, and neither would he, because then you would have been able to make an informed decision to move on. So sometimes I understand that, okay, yes, you want to think about it, but really, does he tick the basic boxes? Do you think there's an opportunity? At least, try it out. If you don't like it, just get out of it. So that's just me. But clearly, your case was also a bit different. But moving on, I feel like you need to work on what you're looking for yourself as a young woman, because you said something that was very vital to me. You said that you are not in a position because you're looking to probably get yourself a job. You want to be like independent. And that's a beautiful characteristic. So I think for now, you're on the right course. Try and be that independent woman that you're looking to be. Once you get that job, once you think about what you want to do with yourself, by all means, when somebody asks you out, please don't stretch it out. Yes, by all means, pray about it. Ask for the spirit of discernment. Decide, okay, he's not too bad. Try him out. If you think he's not your cup of tea, tell him, like I always say, Jana Manenko.
So, Rosina, you have the final word on this one.
Okay, so I think that from the word go, you guys couldn't make the first meet, okay? Now you made the second meet where you actually met and then you had a face-to-face interaction. Usually, irrespective of where you are in life, whether you now want to, after that first meeting, there should be something that should make you feel like, oh, I want to talk to this person again, or I want to probably go out with this person again, or I want to know this person a bit more. There should be something that should want you to want to go on a second date. But as it is, it looks like, and from the fact that after the first meeting, her submission went like he pressured her into a relationship. So I'm thinking that, yes, he put a lot of pressure on her for her to say, okay, yes, we're in a relationship. However, he's expecting the relationship to move from one point to another so quick. And she is not ready for that kind of speed. Now, the thing is that when it comes to relationships, things should not be forced. And like Tina said, I have a feeling that this gentleman feels that I'm at that point in life, I need a woman in my life. It doesn't matter who the woman is. I just need a woman in my life. So he's going around shopping for women. And for a man who doesn't even know the person he's dating or he wants to date and is just quick to want to meet the person and date the person, it means that this gentleman probably doesn't even know who he wants. He just wants to be able to carry some woman as, this is my girlfriend. That's it. So when this one is doing long with, sex after marriage and, let's take it slowly. I want to make sure I also get something doing before we join forces and all of that. He meets somebody the day before. He says, he's met somebody. The person is okay with a quick, fast food relationship. And he's okay with that. Then it means that this is not the kind of man that you want. You are somebody who wants to think, you want to have you want to somewhat plan your future. You want to have some control over your future. The last person you need is somebody who's going to pressure you into taking irrational decisions without thinking it through, or just because he feels that he's at that point. And most of the time, these things in a relationship or under dating circumstance is actually a blessing to find some of these things out before you actually get married. So in my opinion, don't be hurt. And I keep saying that, look, any man who can move away from you so quickly into another relationship doesn't deserve you to begin with. So you don't even have to feel hurt about it. He left you after 9 months for somebody he met in a day. It means that if you hold on to it, let's say you succumb to probably sex before marriage, or you succumb to a serious relationship, he's probably going to leave you anyway in the next year and a half or in the next 6 months. Who knows? So people like this, be in a relationship that wants you. You don't always have to be in a relationship that wants you back.
Right. And one thing I've noticed is for men who are usually ready to get married, they always have more than one option. So if one is not, really being available, they'll just move on to the next available one. And I think, they have the right to do so. But those who really want you will also stay, So I feel this lady shouldn't, worry too much if this guy has moved on. Yes, maybe in hindsight, you would have liked to go into a relationship with him that would have ended in marriage. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't apologize for not being ready. If you're not ready, don't apologize for it. Because at the end of the day, let's say you went into that relationship without a job. You did, as you foresaw, become a burden to this man. That could cause another whole different strain on your relationship. So, yes, he's gone. It is what it is. But if you're not ready, dear sister, you're not ready. And don't apologize for it. Okay? Just take your time. At the right man will come along. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, perhaps I'll try and squeeze in one more message before we say goodbye. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3. So we'll attempt to just squeeze in one last message. And this one says, hello, sisters. I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 3 years and we love each other so much. Although it's a long distance relationship, we have a problem. We have no problem, with that. I'm in Accra. He's in Kumasi. I'm the type of person who doesn't hold on to issues that are likely to bother me. The problem is my work doesn't permit me to frequently talk to him on weekdays. However, anytime I call him on weekends, his phone is always off. So I sent him a message telling him that I'm not going to call him anymore. The only thing we could do is to chat on WhatsApp. He got furious and said so many things. Sisters, please help me because I'm a bit confused. I don't know what to do. Should I continue calling him or not? Because he said I like complaining. Alrighty, Olivia, I'm coming straight to you with this one.
I was actually confused because I wasn't so sure exactly what he meant because I couldn't actually deduce. It's a bit confusing for me. I don't know. Maybe Rosina can take it, or I don't know.
Okay, Tina, let's try you.
Okay, so this is what I think. If somebody is available during the week, but he's not available during the weekend, and have you even tried having a conversation with him whether or not why his phone is off during the weekends? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Weekends are the times that in my head you have downtime where you can talk a lot on the phone, etc., etc. But if constantly your phone is off when you are supposed to have downtime, and I call and you are not picking, I call and I'm not getting through to you, and then I say, okay, then I'm not going to try calling you anymore. Jess, this is what I think. The guy is being shady because he just needs to put his phone on, and that solves the issue. That's it. His phone needs to go on and have a conversation with his girlfriend. Now, if she has confronted him and he's making all sorts of excuses and getting angry, then it means there's a problem. Advise yourself. Just find out ways and means to let him know that you are uncomfortable with the situation, and if it continues, you have no choice than to back off because you are not sure what happens over the weekend.
Okay.
And it's a simple communication issue. So yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. Rosina, let's hear your thoughts on this one. For me, I smell a rat.
Real quick. For me, I smell a very big rat. Seriously. Earlier submission that she's doing long distance and it's okay. This is not okay. If you can't communicate with your other partner over the weekend, his phone is off, it means that he cannot pick your calls over the weekend. And for me, he probably has a double life. He probably has a wife or a girlfriend back in Kumasi whilst you are here thinking that you're his girlfriend. And then you don't know. So over the weekend when everybody else is at home, he can't afford an accident. So his phone has to be off. But during the week when he's in the office, he can afford to pick your call here and there. So personally, it's a big problem. And when you tell him that, look, maybe somebody will say, maybe the way you put it across was a bit offish. Like, okay, then I won't call you again. I'll only text you. But then again, it's a fact that you don't get to speak to him over the weekend. Why should he get angry? What he should do is to look for a solution. But for him to get angry, it's more like he's looking for some form of fuel to kind of like just lights that flame to kind of like, make everything explode. So basically, I don't know. I smell a huge crocodile. This is not a fish. It's a crocodile.
Olivia, you have the final word in a few seconds. Let me know your thoughts now.
Okay, good. So my question is, for long distance relationships, right? What's your mode of communication? Isn't it via phone? So if you're taking that away from your partner, how does the other person expect you to communicate? Because it's not like you can see each other. So for him to deny you of that means that you guys don't even have a relationship to begin with. So where you go, if you can't communicate, you can't see him. Charlie, my dear, wrong means. Sorry, why? But move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a relationship where you can speak to him every now and again on weekdays and not at all on weekends does not seem like a relationship to me. He definitely has someone else who's taking his full time, and he only speaks to you when it's convenient. That, I think, is obvious to all of us. So, my dear sister, you didn't add your name to this. This long distance relationship is not for you. Find someone who is close by and who can actually create that time that you guys need together for the relationship to grow. My 2 cents as well. But it's that time of the show for me to say goodbye. But this has been, it's been interesting. Thank God for technology. Ladies, we're able to come your way, come into your homes and still pick your minds. But it's been really lonely in the studio here today. But all that being said, I really totally appreciate the time that you spent with us. At least we have another exciting episode of the show, and we really appreciate that. So we'll be coming your way once again. So thanks for joining us, Tina, Rosina, Olivia, once again. And yes, God willing, next week, if we're all alive, we shall have this conversation again. For my viewers, though, I must also say thank you very much for watching. I hope that a show like this would suffice. Somehow I'll say COVID-19 because, but we managed to pull this off. So, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to continue to sanitize your hands whenever possible and wash your hands as well under running water for at least 20 minutes. And please continue to watch City FM and City TV. It is your home for full coverage, 360 coverage of COVID-19. My name is Jessica. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.